Hi, I'm so excited to join you again today. And we're going to be actually going through a series on how to get higher conversions in your sales process. And so I think this is going to be so helpful as you wrap up 2019 and we head into 2020, because we want you to be busting through the seams this next year with your business revenue. Okay, so today in our series, we're going to be talking about building your client avatar. So people buy for two reasons. They buy to be relieved from a pain or to move to a pleasure. What's really important for us to define who that person is, what their particular pain is, or their particular pleasure that they want to move to. So that's why it's so important as a foundational piece to increasing your sales conversion is to niching down and creating your ideal customer avatar. So how do you do this? Well, first we need to really define who this person is by doing a series of questions that define what their psychological needs are, their fears, their desires, their general demographics, their personality, their style. And when you do this, you want to get very specific with one person. So one person does not make a salary range. They make $45,000. They don't make $30,000 to $50,000. One person doesn't live in a general area in the city. They have a particular home in a particular place with a particular style. They don't have 2.2 kids. They have 3 kids or 2 kids. Okay, so you get the point. You need to define a very specific person, and it needs to be one person. The analogy I like to use to explain this is sort of like the target board. You know, when you're throwing darts on a fun Friday night, we're defining the very, very center of that board, of that target. So the middle circle is what you're doing as you create your ideal customer avatar. So you're going to go through and you're going to think about, okay, what is my customer, like, who is she generally, demographically? Where does she live? How much does she make? What does she look like? What's her family situation? Those kinds of things. And then you're going to dive into what's her biggest fear. Now you're going to ask these types of questions in context to what your business does or serves, how your business serves them. So their biggest fear needs to be something that your company solves. So you want to think about what's their biggest fear, their biggest desire, what keeps them up at night, what's making them embarrassed about this obstacle that they're facing. How does your company solve this for them? So we want to dive into all those different questions around one person. Now, I know that you might be thinking, I only get to sell to one person. I want to start there because often, as I find as I'm working with my clients, we are very, very broad in our reach because we want to include everybody. And so it's very important to sort of swing the pendulum in our companies to get really solid on the one person. When you get particular with one person, you get very ingrained, attached to what are their needs, who are they exactly. Then how does that translate into being able to have higher conversions in your business? Well, you're going to be able to create web copy that's very particular to your client. They're going to think, oh my gosh, is she speaking to me directly? You're going to be able to create Instagram ads and Facebook ads that are very particularly working towards reaching that client. You're going to attract who you want to attract. You're also going to repel who you want to repel. Those are important. It's important to attract and repel because that means we actually have a particular person that we're selling to. This will improve your conversion rate because you're going to be talking to stronger leads. So when you get on calls with them, when you have in-person meetings with them, they're going to be very likely to be closer to who you are wanting to serve. Or if maybe your sales process it isn't an in-person conversation, maybe it's more automated, you're going to be able to do the work to bring the right people into your field to then have them make that click, make that purchase. We're going to have a higher conversion rate. So let's just think about some other companies that do this kind of well, or we can sort of see, hey, there's a difference in who they're marketing towards. So let's think about makeup. Let's think about MAC And then let's think about like Bare Minerals. Two very different types of companies that are appealing to two different types of buyers. MAC is your really bold, kind of outrageous, Broadway crazy makeup, make a statement. Bare Minerals, this is appealing to a person who wants a very natural look, cares a lot about the type of product that's in their makeup, right? So if you look at those two companies, if you look at their storefronts, if you look at their web, if you look at their actual branding on their makeup, very, very different, right? Okay, let's even think about a company that has multiple layers within it. So let's think about Old Navy, Gap, Banana Republic. All one actual company, but three different stores. Well, I guarantee you that behind the scenes, they've created different buyers, different avatars that shop at these different places. They have different desires, different styles, different types of things that they hope to get out of their shopping experience. Thus, why they have three different stores. So, as you think about this, I think that a really important thing for you to walk away with is knowing that ultimately we can't serve everybody. And when you try to serve everyone, you're truly serving no one. Truly the only person or thing that can do this is the divine, right? God himself, and we are not God. So we cannot do that in our companies and be effective. So I think that's a huge pushback that I get as I'm walking through this exercise and this stage of people's companies, is they have a really hard time leaving people out. And I'm here to tell you that needs to happen in your company in order for you to grow. So you have to trust that there's another guide, another person that's going to show up for those other people, and they're going to be able to serve them really, really well. And by you choosing exactly who you want to serve, you're going to be able to create an even better product, an even better service for that person. Okay, I hope that you stuck with me through this. I think that now would be a great time for you to grab your journal, grab a pen, and start sketching out that one person, that center of your target board. And then know that there's all these rings on that, right? And as long as they hit the board, they're a part of your avatar. So you can expand it out a little bit as you move away from this exercise. All right, thanks so much for tuning in today, and I'm excited to bring you more in this series that's going to help you in your sales conversion.